Hello, everyone, or every two,
Both of you.
all both of you. I'm going to pull this up on my. I can't. The chat's always super delayed on StreamYard to switch over. But yeah, yeah. Now I can see you. This is my friend Wes. How are you doing?
I am fine. How are you doing, Mel?
Doing good. Wes lives in Alabama, and we coordinated some pages and groups and events like Candlelight Vigil, and we helped the family with that for Shannon Nicole Paul. And the anniversary is coming up here really soon. August 17th, correct? Or
16th. That's the anniversary is the 16th. And
yep.
So we're another year.
I know. I hear there's not going to be a vigil.
I don't think so this year. I remember last year I talked with some of the family and Jeanette, and they had indicated that probably moving forward, they might do something more of a family-oriented type event. So we'll see what happens with that. But
okay.
Yeah, there's been some disappointments this year and some.
I know.
High hopes and hopes dashed and all that kind of thing. But
I know the hits just keep coming. I really thought like it would be solved by now, really do. And then seeing this new one in the media right now, I couldn't help but notice the similarities, just like kind of kidnapped off of a street, taken and held, and then she actually escaped. But obviously this guy's only 37, so not super.
Yeah, unless he's been around for 20 years or so.
Right. And if they have the right, name. It just made me think of that guy that I just covered. Oh, what was his name? He murdered Irina De Jesus.
Okay. I always think of whenever I see these kind of things happen, I look for possible links, to other crimes.
I'll show this guy. But when I first just, glancing at this new murderer, I just couldn't help but was like, oh my gosh, what if that was him? I'll share my screen real quick and show you.
It very well could be, we just don't know.
This guy. That's just something about that, like the eyes and the nose, and but the ears are not really quite a.
At first glance,
yeah. At first glance, it was just kind of like, because he assumes names, and he obviously murdered a little girl, so pretty brutally, and took her kind of in the same manner. So that's why it was like, whoa.
How old is the picture there that we're looking at? Is this a current, or was it?
No, this was an old case. This was 1982, I believe.
Well, I mean, the age makes people look different over the years. I mean, of course, it's a different name, but
yeah, but see how he had all of these fake names. That's why I was like, yeah. So these are all the dates of birth that he's used. But 82, that's
way back there.
Born in, but if he was born in 82, this wasn't when he kidnapped her. That was in 2000.
Okay.
So what someone that's 82 is like 40.
Around 40. Around 40, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say hi to the chat real quick. And hey, Kaleidoscope, Chris, Beholder, hello. reach into my soul and pull it, it won't hurt. I know. Kaleidoscope, Lake, hello. Boo. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Thought it was something that, when something's fresh in your mind and you're constantly kind of like, because I've did some digging and tried to find, and it's like about near impossible. But I want to pause and say happy birthday to Chaotic Beauty and Crime. I know she's on vacay, so she's probably not here, but I wanted to make sure that I told her happy birthday. And I'm working on your rap song. It's not quite finished. And I need to find a singer since you already shot down the one that I suggested. So now let's move on to this punk. Wes sent me this earlier today, and it just obviously grabbed my attention pretty quickly. And I've always wanted to kind of follow a case from start to and just kind of keep following it in its infancy all the way through. And this one looks like it could be, this guy's got 2 decomposing bodies, and who knows what else he could have, done. He's only lived in this place since February. So I'll just go ahead and show one of these news clips to get us started. And then we'll kind of discuss. Oh, is she good? Oh. Wanted to put it on that so we can see the video nice and big.
New tonight at 6, a horrifying case nearly 250 miles north of Mobile, where a 12-year-old girl was found walking alone and later led deputies to a gruesome discovery. The Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a young girl wandering alone County Road 34 by herself around 8:30 last night. According to court records, the girl had been tied to a bedpost for nearly a week and drugged with alcohol before managing to chew through her bind 34 by herself around the county sheriff's office.
I want to see this place.
Later led deputies to a gruesome discovery. Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a young girl wandering alone County Road 34 by herself around 8:30 last night. According to court records, the girl had been tied to a bedpost for nearly a week and drugged with alcohol before managing to chew through her bindings and go for help. Investigators say the victim led deputies to a trailer with 2 decomposing bodies inside. The sheriff called the girl a hero for what she endured.
As always, it's horrendous to have a crime scene of this nature and also a 12-year-old juvenile to deal with it. It's a horrendous situation, that we deal with every day.
Police later tracked down and arrested 37-year-old Jose Paulino Pascual-Reyes in Auburn. He's facing capital murder and kidnapping charges. In the meantime, the medical examiner is working to identify the 2 bodies. No word on the relationship between the suspect and victims.
Wow. So that was 20 hours ago, and then I had one more. Oh, something's playing. This was from 5 hours ago.
Police Department and also DHR, along with Child Advocacy Center and our EMA, it's been a joint effort. Yesterday, about 8:26, our office received a call of a young juvenile female walking in the roadway in the area of 3547 County Road 34. I think most of you have been to the scene. During the initial investigation, from the information that we received and collected, we were able to arrest a Jose Paulino Pascual-Reyes of this same address of 3547 County Road 34 for kidnapping in the first degree. And he was arrested in Auburn on Somerville Circle by the Marshal Service and the Auburn Police Department. During this investigation, overnight investigation, processing the residence, we have found located 2 decomposed bodies that were found and currently at the Department of Forensic Sciences pending the identification. At this time, my district attorney, Mr. Jeremy Durr, will make some additional comments in regards to the charges.
Thanks, Sheriff. Thank y'all for coming out. At this time, we're looking at multiple counts of capital murder along with kidnapping in the first degree. And
I'm
of
gonna
course,
pause it on that information and then show that address. Maybe I won't get a copyright strike if we're actually looking at it slowly. Where did they go? Oh. So she was last seen here on June 27th in Fairfield, Alabama. I don't know why it's not. It's got these all. She was picked up by her passerby on 3547 County Road 34. Which, is this right?
Let's see.
Doesn't have. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. So right in here. And then they tracked him down back there in Auburn. I wonder if maybe he worked there.
Yeah, I'm thinking he was working some sort of construction, and maybe that was just where the job was this week, something like that.
Okay. Just wanted to take a look at that really quick before we move on.
of course, once we continue and finish our investigation, I feel certain that several more charges will follow.
Wow.
Thank you.
We will entertain a few questions in regards to this. Is a very fluid investigation. Things are changing, and we do not want to jeopardize the identity of our juvenile until we get other information from forensic sciences that be limited in giving you that information.
Are you all releasing the relation between that 12-year-old and the person in custody? And do you all know anything regarding your relationship?
We're not at that stage to be able to release that information, the kinship or relationship. We do not want to infringe on what's going on behind the scenes. Thank you.
Sheriff, according to court documents, this 12-year-old juvenile was tied to a bedpost for about a week.
Oh my God.
Was drugged allegedly with alcohol, but somehow was able to chew herself free from those restraints, get out into that road, and flag down help. Can you confirm that information that is in the court documents? And what do you want to say about this 12-year-old's perseverance, sir?
First of all, what stands in the affidavit, we stand by that affidavit to be able to procure the kidnapping warrants. And I would say she's a hero, and it's one of those things that we want to get into until later. We gave her medical attention, and she's safe now, and so we want to keep her that way. And that's basically all I can actually say.
Have you been able to locate any of her family members?
But we're not going to get into that right now.
He said that you expected additional charges. Is that because you expect to find additional bodies, or have you found additional bodies besides the two that you just mentioned?
I will say that we expect additional charges just based on interviewing all participants.
Oh, wow.
That we feel that more charges will follow these.
And there was, as far as I know, there was no missing persons report out for this juvenile. Am I mistaken in that, or was nobody really looking for her?
No, the first contact we had with her was yesterday morning when the passerby was able to stop with her, and they reported to us, so she was not considered a missing person.
Sheriff, the two decomposing bodies, do you know how long they had been there? What location of the mobile home were they found? And do you know if they are related to the little girl?
Yes, all this is pending the identification through forensic sciences. We're not going to get into where they were found or who they are at this time. I hope you understand.
Wow. So the media seems to be kind of hinting that it's like a
I don't remember what you're talking about. Sure.
oh, sorry. Maybe it's a
like the family or mother may have or been there's a relations or some sort of a relationship there, possibly.
Yeah. And then no missing persons alert on her whatsoever. That's so sad because it was Wednesday. Okay, so she was kidnapped on Wednesday, June 27th of this year. So 6WBRC said a 12-year-old female believed to be in danger. I edited out her name because we don't need to do that. She was last seen on June 27th of 2022 around 7 a.m. in the area of 48th Street in Fairfield. And then so he had her tied up to a bedpost for, what is that, 5 days? And then on Monday,
I'm sorry. Does it say June 27th or July?
Well,
so was it a whole month or was it just a week?
Oh, yeah. Let me check the.
I thought I had seen it was July earlier.
I could have just put it down as. I thought I had copied it, though. That's why it was kind of.
Yeah.
Of course, they could have got it wrong. I think they only said a week, though. So. No, that's not it.
Seemed like I had another article somewhere that I had read on it. I'll find it.
The one you sent me. I think I have it.
Okay.
I must have just put July. I must not have saved that link.
I'll find another article here. See.
I didn't want to share her name. I know I'm not on screen right now, but I didn't want to share her name. So that's probably why I didn't put it in here.
See.
Yeah, I don't know where I found that article. So I'm not finding it right now, of course. But yeah, I think it was. I think I just have it written down wrong. July 27th, around 7 a.m. in the area of 48th Street in Fairfield, Alabama. And then on Monday, August 1st of 2022, the investigation began just before 8:30 a.m. Monday when a passerby spotted the girl walking in the area of 3547 County Road 34 in rural Dadeville, said Tallapoosa County Sheriff Jimmy Abbott. And then on Tuesday, August 2nd, they worked for like 24 hours straight, the paper said. And then a search of Jose Polino Pascual-Reyes' mobile home led the police to find 2 decomposing bodies. And he was arrested in Auburn, Alabama later that day. And then on Wednesday, August 3rd, as of today, he's been charged with first-degree kidnapping, 3 counts of capital murder, and 2 counts of abuse of a corpse. So, I was wondering where that 3rd count of capital murder fits into the, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because there was only 2 murders or victims found, so
Right.
murder victims.
And so as of we'll read that article here. A man allegedly held a 12-year-old girl hostage, but the victim saved herself and found help by a passerby. Authorities in Tallapoosa, am I saying that correctly?
You are.
Awesome. Well, look at me saying a word right. County, Alabama said they found the home nearby where the girl's kidnapper, Jose Polino Pascual-Reyes, 37, had kept her restrained to the bedpost. According to local reports, investigators said they found 2 decomposing bodies on the property. Pascual-Reyes is charged with first-degree kidnapping, 3 counts of capital murder, and 2 counts of abuse of a corpse, according to Alabama.com. Tallapoosa County Sheriff Jimmy Abbott and District Attorney Jeremy Dorr withheld details of the case in a press conference on Tuesday, citing the fluid, ongoing nature of the case. The investigation started Monday at about 8:26 a.m. when a young girl was found walking in the area of 3547 County Road 34, Abbott said. The girl had been restrained to bedpost for about a week before she chewed off the restraint, which broke her braces. Oh. According to the criminal complaint obtained by CNN, her wrists just displayed marks consistent with being subject to restraints, authorities reportedly said in those documents. She had allegedly been drugged with alcohol and battered about the head area. Jeez. I would say she's a hero, Abbott said. It is one of those things we don't want to get into until later. Authorities said they gave her medical attention. She is safe now, the sheriff said. She's doing well, he said. He declined to specify the relationship between the girl and Pascual-Reyes. He declined to say if investigators found other family members. It's a fluid investigation. Things are changing, and I don't want to jeopardize the identification of our juvenile. Abbott said the girl was not considered a missing person at the time the passerby found her. Authorities had yet to identify the dead bodies, he said. Abbott declined to say if Pascual-Reyes made statements to authorities. Asked by a reporter, the sheriff said they are looking into whether
2 things.
Do what?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's got one more. Whether the 37-year-old is a documented resident. That's that article. Your dogs are mad.
Those are my dogs. They see another dog walking by outside or down the sidewalk.
Oh gosh,
they'll get over it in a minute, hopefully.
Right.
The thing, there's a couple of points I remember, and I must have seen them in a different article. But they made a point to say that this was not, and I can go back and find the clip or somewhere. They said it was not a random case of abduction, which
really
made it sound like that it was a friend of the family type thing or somebody who was involved with the family. And you put that together with that she wasn't reported missing, being gone a week.
Are you kind of thinking maybe the bodies were relatives?
That I'm not sure about, but they said that in reference to the girl, was that was not a random thing, is what it was said. I'll find the article where it said it was one of the law enforcement that made the comment, and it was also said that when the police got to the trailer, that there was other people there. He wasn't there, and then had the bodies, but there was other people there actually at the trailer, but they didn't say anything else about
What?
who the people were or what they did, or, you know, did they arrest them, or, you know.
Is it
It
the
just said
article you
they
sent
were.
me?
It may have been in that one, but if not, I'll find the one and I'll send it to make sure. But there was people at that trailer when the police pulled up. Just, I guess they were just there in the trailer or around it on the property. I'll find the articles that I looked at and I'll send them on.
This was the one you sent me earlier.
Right. I don't know if it mentions, it's possible one of them could have been mentioned in there.
This is.
Looking for a free project management solution that's actually free? With ClickUp, here's just a taste of what you can get.
And leads investigators to 2 decomposing bodies. Yesterday, the Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Office held a news conference on this case.
Rosanna Smith was at the news conference. She joins us live in studio. And Rosanna, this case is heartbreaking when you hear all the details.
That's right. It's a horrendous situation. That's exactly how Sheriff Jimmy Abbott described it yesterday. Abbott says deputies got a call Monday morning that a 12-year-old girl was wandering down County Road 34. Investigators say she was kidnapped. The 12-year-old girl, according to court records, had been tied up and drugged before managing to escape. Abbott called the child a hero for what she endured.
We stand by that affidavit to be able to procure the
cases like this. What do they
detail? So we're just waiting. You can imagine they want to bring justice for this little girl and the 2 people who were found dead.
Rosanna, you were on the scene yesterday out at that location. Tell us about this area.
Now, this location, it's a county road. The home where they were found is a mobile home. There are a few homes in that nearby area, but for the most part, it's a rural area. I can tell you yesterday after that news conference, investigators were still on the scene searching for evidence. This investigation is still ongoing, as you can imagine. If we right now, we just don't know that many details, so we're just waiting for it all to play out.
Rosanna, I cannot imagine what this 12-year-old girl went through. She's safe now, which is good, but the emotional toll is heavy. It's going to be with her for the rest of her life. You would have to assume that this is going to have a lifelong impact on her. When you spoke with experts today, you talked with some mental health experts. They work with cases like this. What do they have to offer?
Well, I spoke with Tri-County Children's Advocacy Center. They're the equivalent of Child Protect here in Montgomery, and they provide services for young victims and work alongside law enforcement. And they confirm they are handling this case and working to make sure this 12-year-old girl
That's good.
gets all the help she needs. The director of that advocacy center called the 12-year-old girl a hero, agreeing with the sheriff. She also said the girl is courageous and brave, and they want to keep her safe and provide her with the services she needs to recover from what is a tragic situation, something no one should ever experience.
Rosanna, do we have any additional details about the suspect and when he will appear in court?
So I called Sheriff Abbott this morning and spoke with him. He says the first appearance will happen today. That suspect will stay in their facility. He is going to continue to be in jail, and a judge has opted to come to the facility and do that hearing in person.
Are they worried, do you think, about fleeing or?
He didn't really provide any information. He just said that, they have the option of doing it via Zoom. But this judge who's handling this case has decided that they are going to come to that facility and handle this.
Rosanna, we should get some more details after that hearing today. We appreciate your time on what has been a very difficult case.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hey, Mel, I sent you a link to the New York Times article that has some new info in it as to the deceased, the 2 deceased.
Gotcha.
As to who they were.
I'll just read this. Jose Paulino Pascual-Reyes, what a mouthful, was charged with capital murder and first-degree kidnapping after authorities said they found 2 decomposing bodies inside his house. A 12-year-old girl who had been held captive in a home in rural Alabama, was found walking along a nearby road on Monday, which led the authorities to the bodies of her mother and brother inside the residence. Okay, wow. Authorities said the Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Department said on Tuesday that Jose Polino Pascual-Reyes, 37, of Dadeville, Alabama, had been arrested and charged with first-degree kidnapping, capital murder, and abuse of a corpse. On Wednesday, Mr. Pascual-Reyes made an initial appearance in court and was ordered held without bond. It was unclear who represented him. Jimmy Abbott, the Tallapoosa County Sheriff, said at a news conference on Tuesday that just before 8:30 a.m. on Monday, a driver noticed a girl walking along a road in Dadeville, Alabama, and called 911. Deputies who responded gave the girl medical treatment and started investigating, the sheriff said. Once they entered the house, officials said they found 2 decomposing bodies identified by the Sheriff Abbott as the girl's mother and brother. That's so horrible. Mr. Pascal was the mother's boyfriend. Wow, Sheriff Abbott said.
Okay.
Court documents said the girl had been abducted on July 24th and tied to a bedpost for about a week while she was assaulted and given alcohol to keep her in a drugged state. The girl managed to get free and escape by chewing through her restraints, breaking her braces in the process, the document said. The deputy who found her noticed that she had marks on her wrist where she had been restrained. Court records said the mother had been smothered to death with a pillow on July 24th, and the brother had been bludgeoned to death on the same day. He was under 14 years old, Sheriff Abbott said. Both bodies had been dismembered, he said. Authorities said the girl who escaped had not been reported missing. Sheriff Abbott said she was in state custody and was doing well. She's a hero, he said. She's safe and we want to keep her that way. Sheriff Abbott said that Mr. Pascal had worked at a construction site, you were right, in Auburn, Alabama, about 25 miles southeast of Dadeville, and had been living at the home since February. Before Mr. Pascual-Reyes made his initial appearance in court on Wednesday, Kevin Hall, an assistant district attorney, said that prosecutors have planned to object to releasing him on bond because of the severity of the charges and because they consider him a flight risk. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, along with local agencies, are helping to investigate. What a monster. Well, statistically, though, like men prey on women, single mothers. They're at such a higher risk of being sexually abused by a step or a boyfriend. The statistics are quite crazy about how high that risk goes up when a step parent enters into the scene. But that third charge is still confusing to me because a charge against, like, say they were, it wouldn't be her because it would say attempted. So, like, where is that third count of capital murder? Which capital is eligible for the death penalty? Do you guys have death penalty in Alabama?
Yes. And he did mention, I believe it was the DA that mentioned he expected more charges, and that they asked him about that, but he didn't elaborate. So they must have a lead that there's somebody else has been killed as well. That's what it sounds like.
Wow. Yeah, it seems like it. Hi to some of the new people that are joining in. Crimezilla, hello. Georgina. Lee, hello. Yes, it really is. Hello, Jean. Grandma Sherry, how are you? And Nick. Amy. And Beholder. Dan, glad you're here tonight. But yeah, Lee asked a good question here. It didn't really say, but it said that she was last seen at the, like, Fairfield area. But you think they were all living together?
That is a little confusing. It did sound like maybe they were living together, but then they said they used the term that she was abducted. But I mean, if they were all together, that explains why she wasn't ever reported missing. I mean, if they were all living together and then the mother and brother were killed, nobody's going to report her missing, I guess. You know what I mean? But I'm not clear on since she was seen in Fairfield. But then this is in a different place, though, I think. So I'm not sure.
Wow, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. It sounds like he was either living with them or with them a lot or something like that, and then did this. And nobody knew.
I don't know why it's like my thing's all of a sudden not letting me click on stuff.
It's still, school hasn't started yet, so nobody's going to miss her. Week. It's during the summer. They just thought she was with the family.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's just like brand new out. I did find, because you would think, well, now we know that it was a mother and brother that were the two decomposing bodies. There still is that third count of capital murder and more charges to come. And so thinking inside of that victimology of a, 12-year-old Black female, like I was kind of thinking, well, is this a pattern? Is this possibly someone that has done this before? And it doesn't sound like it maybe in this house, if he was living with his girlfriend and her two children. But I did find, and we can still look at it because they are missing. These are missing in Alabama. We have Michaela Rochelle Barnum, since July 27th. Jacksonville, Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama is Kaya Malia Barnett. That was in March of 2022. I mean, there's just so many. It's so sad.
And any of these that could be connected to this or to another?
I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. I just found it to be really sad of how many.
There's so many.
There really are. Just keep on going, like these are just kids. These are somebody's children, and just like, Alabama seems to have a very high rate of, like, so does Tennessee, missing children. And we get down here into some of our familiar ones. I know I looked at the Haley Coldwell one and Sherry Lynn Marlar as far as the Shannon Polk case went. But yeah, I mean, you just never know. And he could have been new to that area. He said he was a construction worker, so that could open up so many possibilities,
They move around, and so it's just a matter of where he has been.
I wasn't sharing my screen. I'm looking at it, but you guys aren't. I'm just like, I'm sorry. Oh my. I'm just checking out all of these missing kids, and no one can see it but me. Story of my life. Here we go. Now you can see. This is the missing, it's called the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency Community Information Center. Missing persons. There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Any of these cities look familiar?
Let's see. Oh yeah. There's never none of these are too far away. I mean, Bessemer, it's a little more up north of here somewhat. Selma is close. Talladega. Yeah, I mean, there's a Montgomery one there.
Tuscaloosa.
The thing about Montgomery, yeah, Tuscaloosa is where Heaven Lachey Ross.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Northport, but I mean, Northport is literally almost part of Tuscaloosa. It's right there with it.
Right. We just keep going on all these little kids. So sad.
Yeah. Montgomery is kind of more urban as far as, so you're never sure exactly if those fit the same pattern as some of these other ones, but
right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but the rest of them are pretty much, the rest of the cities are pretty much littler towns, country towns. Birmingham is a pretty kind of a big city area as well.
Yeah, but so Prattville isn't considered like a bigger city?
No, not by. It depends, I guess, on what standard you're thinking. But Montgomery, I consider is to be a high population, so it has a lot of the problems of a bigger city. Prattville's 40,000 population, so it just depends on how you're.
Was that Fairview?
Fairview is what they had said, or Fairfield. Yeah, I can't remember now.
I know, I can't either.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find where that is.
Dadeville.
Yeah, Dadeville. That's where the trailer was, and they mentioned Fairview, though, didn't they? That she had was last seen in Fairview. Let's see where that is, because I wonder how far away that is. Because Auburn, where he was at, was a little bit of a jaunt from there.
What was his address? 3447. $35.47 County Road 34.
Okay, I just looked at Fairview, Alabama, and it's a long ways away. So maybe it wasn't Fairview, maybe it was Fairfield.
Oh, we gotta have the zip code for Dadeville. This is silly. It should be a lot easier to search. You shouldn't have. Maybe you can. Maybe you just enter in the city. I just wanted to check that address to see if he was like a registered sex offender.
Yeah, we could search his name. Might be hard to, if he's not. Depends on if he's not registered. I mean, not a legal.
Good Lord, Dadeville's really little, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at all of these. I'm a freaking robot. Oh, I hate these.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Fairfield Fairview thing, because that's up in Birmingham. Fairfield is, and Fairview is way off in another direction. So it's kind of confusing to me. So I'll have to look more into that. The reference they made.
Oh, as far as like why she was seen in Fairview?
Right. They said last seen there. But there's a whole lot of questions, because if she's with her mother and brother, who was it where were they, and who saw them, or did they live there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things that could have, maybe they came to visit this guy or something.
No. Maybe. Yeah, that would kind of make sense. Say they came to visit and then he just so it was fair what?
Well, I looked at both Fairfield and Fairview, and both of them were a good little piece away. Fairfield being right in the middle of Birmingham almost, and Fairview was in another direction, I think. So either way, it's not really very close at all to where they were, where this ended up.
That's kind of weird. See, it's all the way up here.
Yeah.
Is there any malls around there or anything? Because the
around Fairview, or
it was 48th Street in Fairview, is what one of the articles said.
Okay.
It was just kind of like I don't know. Looks like a.
Well, if it's up in the Birmingham area, I mean, they got lots of shopping and malls. If it's in the middle of. Okay.
I don't know.
Let's see. I think I may have found something on that address.
Let's see where it.
There's a 48th Plaza.
Oh, okay.
In Fairview, or 48th Place, or something like that. It's a residential road, though.
Restoration Academy. I wonder what that is.
So maybe they did live. Maybe the girl lived with her family there,
and then he took them to her.
And somehow they ended up going to either that, or he took them from there and took them all the way down.
Yeah, I mean, and they could have just been like something as easy, just like, oh, come over to my. I mean, it's like
right.
But they were saying kidnapping victim.
Correct. So because that implies that he actually went and took her away.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So yeah.
So what else have you been up to?
Oh, well, I've been trying to map out the Candlestick Park, put names to all the, try to get who lived where, and I've been, crazy with the maps and trying to cross-reference people who live in the park to people who live, or to the landowners around where they found her body, and I keep running into certain names that, last names that keep me intrigued. And so I keep going down rabbit holes and with these last names because, the familiar last names that we talk about and they pop up. And Prattville, like you said, it seems bigger, but it's also small enough to where everyone seems to have connections to everyone else as far as when you start looking at the family names and everything. So I've been kind of doing that.
Yeah, it's a tedious task. I had done it all, and I don't know where it is. I can't find it. It's not on my Google Earth. I had the whole area mapped out. Well, I mean, I took screenshots of it, so I know I have it somewhere. But it's all gone. It's not on my map anymore. So I don't know what I did. I know I have it in like a KMZ file somewhere. I just got to find it.
Same, with mine. And, I did that. And I mapped out all the places Shannon went that day, like labeled them.
Oh, did you?
In the park. Yeah. And all that. And,
yeah. Well, we should, maybe for like near this, I don't know what the 16th falls on. I will be, out of town. I could do, maybe like the 15th or 16th or that weekend before. I'll be on vacation the 17th through the 22nd. But maybe we should do that, and you can share your. Can you share your screen?
Oh yeah, I can. I can do that. And that sounds great. Because the more we talk about, I mean, people. My philosophy is with all these names is. At some point, I feel like we've probably looked at the name, already, and we just don't know it. And so it's a matter of making the connection somehow randomly, or whether it's not randomly, to key in on it and focus. Finally, make the kind of smoking gun type thing, so we can know
I know.
who to focus on.
I was thinking about Shannon's case because there's so much information. I just have it in like a Word doc. But I recently joined this cold case club, and then I joined inside of that more of like a small group of people that we were working with a data analyst, and she taught us like how to kind of use because I had made a Google Doc for this particular victim, and then she kind of taught us how to add that all into a spreadsheet so it's easily searchable. I mean, and that's the thing is like when you see it all in a spreadsheet and then within the charts and everything, is it just Excel just automatically does all that? You really get a sense of like, wow, like you can make connections in things and like you see the information and you can search the information so much easier. I'd like to take all of that and like it's basically just like data entry. Maybe it's something I could get like kind of copy what they did and see if there's anyone else for Shannon Polk that would want to do that. And just to see what happens, to see what it pops out, because you can also link information, so you can link where you got the information from. I think it would be really helpful for there because there's just so much, in her case, and it's been so many years. What is it now? This is the 22nd year.
22 years. Yep.
It's so sad. I can't believe that it was in 2019 that I was out there, and I just thought for sure, it was.
It felt close, and it still feels close to me. I think I think one day I'm going to get up, and the answer's going to be there.
Yeah. I was thinking about. Usually my calls don't get any responses anymore, which is sad. But calling CJ at the district attorney's office and seeing if he would do like an interview for the is it 21 or 22 years?
It was 2001. So it would be, this would be the 21st year.
21st. Yeah. Okay. So see if he would do, just like a short interview or even just a statement of like where things are at.
I think
but I've called them in the past, and they're like, they haven't returned any of my phone calls. So I'm not.
When I talked to him last year, as we led up to the vigil, and he was very, very open and friendly. So maybe I could use that connection again and call him and ask him if they could do something for the family at least. I mean, for those of us who are helping, the family deserves to have some kind of updates.
They do, and they can request those. They just have to do it like a formal letter in writing, and then they can have an interview. And I know like Detective like Tom, he had set up like we were supposed to meet with him when I was out there, and I mean he was totally willing to do that with the family. But it unfortunately didn't happen.
Did I ever tell you the little side story on the last year after we did the vigil? Of course, I learned from the year before when we did it. If you remember, we relied on some people that we thought were getting things set up, and they really hadn't really done as much as we thought as far as the clearance with the town and the mayor and everything. So I decided I was going to do it right, and so I made the appointment with the mayor's office, the Parks and Rec folks, and I sat down with them and told them what we wanted to do, explained what we were going to do, and did all the forms. And they included the lanterns, the floating, you light the lanterns off like we did before.
Oh, wow.
And they go off in the sky. And it was really pretty. Everything went really well. In fact, we had a picture of Tom, the lead inspector there, Tom Allen, and the former mayor, who was mayor when Shannon was abducted, Jim Byard. There was a great picture of them setting one, launching one, like getting it ready, lighting it, launching it.
Aww.
And then Tom called me, or he called me a couple of days later, and he said that I guess it's the fire chief or whoever it was in town, like ran him down in the hallway and scolded him for doing that because he said it was that it was illegal. Those things are too flammable. And
really?
and I said, yeah. And I said, well, okay. Well, I said we checked him out and everything, and the mayor and they were sat right there and told me it was okay. But I just thought it was kind of amusing because you have the head detective and the former mayor was it was right there. The
fireball.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they did that though. I mean, good night.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
Like those lanterns off all the time, and they don't.
Yeah.
Catch on fire, but
I guess there's, I guess depending on how dry it is and all that, maybe. But
so the detective and the former mayor are rule breakers.
Yeah.
But
Mayor Byard is a really great. He's a really nice guy, and he really cares a lot about this. And
yeah,
he's
really
pretty.
is.
He gets emotional when he talks about it, even now.
Yeah, he does, and he's like the fact he still has that ribbon is really sweet. Just that constant reminder of the yellow ribbon and of to not forget her.
Right.
I just still go back to they are aware that because Murder Data gets their information from VICAP, and I know VICAP is a disaster. It's not run well. I mean, it's the premise of it is amazing, and it should be. It needs to be more like sending someone out to get the information from the detectives because they're not entering it and they're not required to by law. And so it would be a great system if everyone participated, but they don't. And so, and Alabama doesn't hardly at all. But Shannon's case is in there and it is listed as a solved case. And when I called and spoke up about that, it's still, how many years has it been? That was in like 2018. And it's still listed as solved. But I go back to what Thomas Hargrove had said about, when I called Murder Accountability Project and spoke with him, he was like, well, there's a lot of cases that they will put in there that they are solved, even though they're not criminally resolved. Like they have not convicted someone of the murder, but they know who did it. They just can't prove it. And to me, that is very significant.
On that note, there was quite a few years ago, there was I had a conversation on Reddit with somebody about that, and this person said that he was from the area. This individual that I was talking to was from around the area, and he said he was pretty sure, or that I guess he implied he was somehow around the law enforcement community, and he said he thought and was pretty sure that they knew who did it, but the person was already in jail or had died in jail or something like that. But then when I'd questioned him further about more, he ended up saying he really wasn't sure. He might not remember, and then was vague about the rest of it. So, so there was kind of there's a possibility, I guess, of something like that. But you would think they would tell the family, wouldn't you think? Yeah, they should.
I mean, what can happen? It's not like they can be sued. The person is dead, I guess, by like their extended family. But I mean, the only one that is dead, the root beer man, he's dead, right?
I'm pretty sure he is. If you look him up on the locators, though, it still shows him living at that same address. But
I know that's why those are really not.
Again, it doesn't know. They don't know sometimes when someone's died because you'll see ages on there. I think my grandmother was on there and she was like 114 years old. It showed her on there as if she was still alive.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's like, how off they are. And like people will, and especially the sleuthing world, like people will latch onto those like it is like fact. And it's like, put yourself up on there, and then you'll know because all of those people. Oh my gosh. I got tracked down this week. Got tracked down by the state of Washington for a cousin of mine lost her kids, and it's just like, wow, I didn't know that was a thing. You know, it's super sad, and I don't know what I could do about that from here, but it's just been she's lost them before, and I've never gotten a letter. It was weird. They have like a specialist in Washington that's their job, is to locate family members of the children in foster care. Like, it's really sad.
Yeah.
But I was like, what is this? Because I was the Tanya case is in Washington. So I've been on all these like government sites and trying to get information and all of this stuff for like a month now. And then all of a sudden I'm getting a letter from the state of Washington. I'm about peeing my pants. I was like, oh Lord, what have I done now? I've got myself into another pickle. I seem to collect a bunch of pickles. Now I'm gonna have to start calling them zucchinis, because I thought my zucchini was a pickle. Like, no wonder it was so big. It wasn't a pickle. It was a zucchini. Oh man. Have you been looking at any other cases? I know you run a few of the pages. You want to tell us a little bit about those?
We've got the Wendy Bishop was the girl in Montgomery in the 90s. It was 93, I believe, that she went missing, or was missing and found murdered in surrounding out of town in the woods. So there's still absolutely nothing going on, with that. There's people if you talk to people that were involved and that know her, they all say the same thing, that they know who did it and they can name the people, but nothing, of course, has been done. I guess no proof, and so I track, I do the same thing with those. And interestingly enough, when I was talking before about finding parallels and cross-referencing names, their names in the Shannon case that cross-reference and connect to the names in the Wendy Bishop case. And they're, one city apart, but not too far away. But there were people who lived in both places of the same neighborhoods and same people.
It's so
even
weird.
Some of the stuff
I just linked her Facebook group in the chat. I've added it. I made myself a link page, and I have yours all on here. So I figured I might as well share the pages as you talk about them. Tasha Reese, isn't that another one that Tasha you run? Reese.
Yes, and that was in 1989, and she was 16 years old, Prattville High School. And the story on her is that she was it was a Friday night, the first football game of the year, and she was going to walk to the game. They were close, within a couple blocks of the stadium. So she's going to walk with her friend to the game. And her friend lived a block up from her. So she was supposed to walk up there, meet her, and then they were going to walk to the game, but she never made it to her friend's house. And then they found her off that bridge that goes over the river, which isn't too far away. It's not too far away from Candlestick Park even. They found her in the river there. And that one's never been solved. Even though people, again, you talk to people and the same two names come up, everybody thinks the same thing about who did it. And the individual they point to the most often has already passed.
Oh, really?
So basically, yeah, and that's what I may make some inquiries with the law enforcement, because I don't know that anything's being done by the law enforcement on that. We've talked to them and to the family, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, and if I could probably send this to you, but her Tasha Reese's grandmother is the one that raised her, and where she was living at the time.
Oh, really?
Which isn't too far away from where she lived. And her grandmother's still there, but she also has a very interesting, a great story behind her, because she was one of the first Black nurses in Alabama.
Oh, really?
The first nursing. She was a real pioneer and a real positive person that helped a lot of people. And I'll find the article and send that on.
Yeah,
So
that sounds
a cool
like
story.
And that was for
for her
Tasha. So you've got Wendy Bishop,
Tasha,
Tasha Reese, and then Peggy Chappell.
right. Peggy, yeah, Peggy Chappelle. That's probably the most saddest one of all.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to cover that one.
Yeah,
There's not much,
not much,
unfortunately.
but it's pretty clear.
It's very
and
convoluted.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
don't
disgusting.
understand.
What the implication or what they say is that the mother, her mother knows.
I won't
You know,
tell.
she knows what happened. She knows what happened, and she won't tell. And she was even
I
put in jail for not telling. And
Yeah.
she did the time and still wouldn't tell.
Does she have other
So
children? Do you know?
there is other ones. I found them, when I was doing the research. They're not close. I believe that our Monica may have contacted some of them, because she's the one that really had had a heart for this story. She's actually the one that wanted to make a page and everything and get it going for Peggy. And so she did talk to. I think she actually talked to some of Peggy's siblings, and so we might be able to get some info from her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had asked me to cover that one, and I think I'm going to. I just don't know exactly when. There's been a lot going on here in Indiana with the Karina McClurkin, and then Chaotic Beauty and Crime. I did Jamie Jo Tate, which was one of her friends, like someone that she knew and knew the family, and so I covered that one, and then this was just kind of a spur of the moment. Let's do this together. But when I do them, I have to have the time. It's like it takes a good amount of time to get them all together. And I started on Peggy's, but it's kind of slow going because it's just I don't like to use Facebook information. I like pages and things like that, but it's so hard to search that kind of stuff and without really having. Oh, I have the wrong URL for Tasha Reese.
Whoa.
Well.
But I believe the individual who took Peggy was known to the mother and was probably her friend or somehow connected to her. And I don't know how. No, but I don't know if they knew anybody who knew them would have to know who he was. I don't know why they couldn't have somebody else, tell them, okay, this is the guy here you're looking for. I don't think they were living in a vacuum. Because people saw, they saw him come and get her and pick her up and everything, so
I know. And then just won't tell.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this link. The beholder let me know that the link wasn't working for Tasha Reese. So here, see if that works. I wonder, I probably just put the wrong ones in there.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't even know what that other one goes to then. Oh, Lord, that'd be scary. Oh, it's Tanner Barton. I just clicked the wrong one. Okay, good. Beholder let me know it worked. So yeah, hopefully we can get some of the people here over there in the groups, and it always helps to just kind of be talking about it. Anything that you can do that kind of puts pressure on the powers that be, the ones that are really in charge of these cases. But yeah, so I'm excited. I hope that we can, like I said, even that weekend before the anniversary for Shannon, I think that would be really great if we could do a live episode for that again, and then maybe see if CJ might join us, or was it Amanda? She's still there?
That worked with him, I believe so. Yeah, that works with CJ.
Yeah, we had a great conversation,
and last year I believe she was there as well.
Yeah.
So they're definitely helpful, and they're always nice when I talk to them. So maybe they'll work with us a little bit in the way of updates.
Yeah, just something, just something of
Mhm.
encouragement, or let us know that what you're doing. I don't know. I mean, they don't owe us anything, but it gets kind of
That's
like,
why I said, for the
you just
family.
kind of want to know, like, what are you doing though? Like, what are you actively doing? And it's like, is this feeling of disinterest? Is it
Yeah.
because it's already solved and you know that you don't have a case in a court of law? Because you got to think about the grand jury. They've had a grand jury. They had it impaneled for years, which, it got extended. So it was like, what's going on here?
Right. And they never even had a point where they said that it was over. I mean, after that point, and they just seem to keep it open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and I've had a couple of times when and I wish they wouldn't do this. When you talk, like I said, when I was talking to the mayor Gillespie, and I believe it was Tom, leading up to last year. Maybe they just say it because they don't have anything else to say. They'll they'll imply, we've got something. I can't say too much, but there's something significant in the works.
Yeah.
They'll say stuff like that, and then when nothing happens, it's just like, I guess they were just saying it to get through the conversation. I guess, I don't know. That's what it feels like sometimes.
It does. It does feel like that a lot, because it's like, well, and then anymore of like, whenever I hear that, because of that has been said so many, like at least 3 different times to me personally, and then like 2 times to like audiences. And it's like, but then nothing happened. And then whenever I hear like a family being so excited, like I just interviewed Miss Donna for Jamie Jo Tate, and they had just recently told her that too. And it was like, my knee-jerk reaction was like, just was like, please don't get too excited about that, because of how they do that. And it's really sad. They shouldn't do that. I mean,
think they
just
just
be
can't help themselves. I guess they're trying to give, I don't know.
I think a data analyst would be helpful. That's like with the, some cases have been solved by just someone coming in and entering in all of the, because you got to think like 2001 and the computers of how things are now. Obviously, getting the familial DNA was not something that they wanted to do, because they could have had that done for free, and they just passed. They took a hard pass on that, and
That's another thing that they told me. Tom said they were doing it. He responded one time during our Facebook. There was a Facebook post about it in the group, and he messaged me and he said, just so everybody knows, we are doing this. And he said, there's just lots of steps involved, but then that was it. Nothing else happened.
Yeah, but like,
so I guess it got
Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick was literally going to like she was going to get everything moving, and they just nothing. So it's like, we're talking to the people on the other side of this. Like, we know that it's not happening, like, so what are you doing? I don't know. It's frustrating. But I didn't have any dinner. My head is starting to really pound. But I really appreciate you coming on, and then let me know as far as which date would work better for you. Like, usually like maybe Sunday or Tuesday would be probably my best days, but I could be available on like Friday, Saturday. Monday is usually would have to be like late at night. But you're an hour ahead of me, aren't you? So
no, we're both on Central. You're on Central time, right?
Yeah.
Are you on Central?
No, we're on Eastern.
Oh, you're an hour ahead of me then.
Yeah. So it's 9 here, so you're at 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to keep that in mind when we schedule it. But
yes, ma'am.
Well, I appreciate you hopping on here and being from Alabama and kind of knowing more than I do for sure. So thank you for sending it to me, and we'll keep everybody updated on old Jose.
That's right.
And I like this. Like not many men can pull off the stash, but it looks good.
I might have to, yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see what happens.
All right.
But
See
thanks.
you later.
I'll talk to y'all
Bye,
later.
everybody.
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
a good night.
Bye-bye.